Hello, everyone. My name is Li Nan. Today, I'm going to present to you about my research proposal of impact of venture capital on decision-making and structures in early-stage startups. Starting with a very brief introduction. I was a former commercial and transaction lawyer, and I have some first-hand experience with venture capital investments in startups. So based on my past experience and observation, VC plays a very important role in the growth of the startups. Besides the capital contribution, they also provide helps and experience and the deep engagement in the management of their portfolio companies, including strategic guidance, mentoring, and participating in decision-making and operational structures. Therefore, understanding VC's influence on management practices is very crucial for understanding the overall impact on the startup success and the ecosystem. So my research will investigate how VC would shape the internal decision-making and organizational structures in the startups. I would like to adopt the various research methods to explore VC's influence on professionalization, governance models, and startup growth. Past literatures and researches have indicated that VC funding drives startups to transition from founder-led models to more structured and modernized governance, which is aligned with the investor expectations. But also, one thing worth mentioning is that transition from informal to formal governance can be challenging for startups because founders may not be able or not interested in giving up direct control. So they have struggles with setting up standardized and modernized processes, and the team may adjust to stricter oversight. And also, VC might assume control over some key decisions and the matters and appointments. All of these may create different matters. But overall, the participation of VC in the management and decision-making process will generally help the startup to aiming for long-term success. The next part is about literature synthesis. The past literature and researchers have, to an extent, explored this topic from different aspects. So the first one is about professionalization of management practices. For example, Herman Purvey and Cathy and Rizata highlights VC's dual role as financial and strategic partners, and they help startups to professionalize through improved governance and operational efficiency. But they also note the tension that may be created by VC's influence on short-term decisions. And the second aspect would be the strategic guidance and the governance. So VC has significantly impacted HR practices, guiding them to acquire talent and management the talents to align with strategic goals. The third is about VC's networks and the collaborations. So VC network can help startups to different kind of resources and follow-up fundings. And also, especially in emerging market, VC would improve financial management and control mechanisms, as you can see from the chart on the right, which is a market survey of the use of venture capital in East Africa. As you can see right here, the inventory control upon use of VC capital is increased. 60% of the interviewees are satisfied with the effect, and 26% are even extremely satisfied. The fourth aspect is the risk-taking and innovation. So VC's encouragement of risk-taking innovation-driven sectors would be able to help the startups to better use the innovation to create a long-term success. And the last is about my theoretical framework. So I would like to say that my research would be guided by venture capital network theory and the agency theory. In respect to literature gap, the existing research offers insights into how VC investments influence management practices, but there are still some significant gaps. So first of all, there is limited study on the long-term effects of VC involvement after investor exists. And secondly, there are the most researches they are focusing on early stage interventions in the US and European context, while with less emphasis like in Africa and Asian and Latin America. The third is that the impact of VC on internal changes remains unexplored. So I think all of these aspects should be further addressed in the future research. As to the research design methodology, my research question has been mentioned before, which is about to examine how VC investments impact decision-making and organizational structures in early-stage startups. And at the same time, the hypothesis that I would like to use as a basis of my research is that VC investments drive significant changes in decision-making and governance. And VC-backed startups typically shift from founder-led to structured governance to meet investor expectations. In respect to research design and methodology, first of all, for the method, I would like to use a mixed method approach, combining qualitative interviews and quantitative data analysis. As to data collection, I would like to combine the use of both interviews, which could help me to collect a lot of firsthand and broad based information about this topic, as well as case studies, which would focusing on specific cases about startups that underwent organizational changes after VC funding. The third aspect I would consider is about ethical considerations. The main aspects are, first of all, informed consent. The second is confidentiality. The third is the transparency. And last is about the limitation and gaps of myself, of my own research. So I believe this study still have some limitations, including potential biases from interview participants and the challenges of generalizing findings across different startup environments. And also, there's a gap in accessing complete data for case study, and which could limit the scope of my analysis. So for the conclusion and significance, I believe that for both founders and venture capitalists, that this research can be important. First of all, for entrepreneurs, they can make them prepare for the change that may come with VC funding, so they can make their decision more informed. Secondly, for venture capitalists, this research would allow them to better align their involvement with the long-term success of startups that can provide, that can ask them to offer proper insights into how their investments will shape the startups. The third, I believe that this study would like to contribute to academic literature by addressing the gap that I mentioned before. And this is my reference list. Thank you so much.